and you're going to bolt it down. But you'll notice they left a gap here. My buddy at Driven wanted to do something a little different with the R6, give it that OEM look and feel with the fuel cap. So he designed this in such a way that you want to reuse the stock gasket that goes around the fuel cap base itself. You're still going to leave the Driven gasket that seals with the tank in place, but you're going to need to install this. You can see that here on the back portion it drops right in, no problem. Up here at the front edge of the cap, you're going to need to trim this gasket on either side so it can seat flush, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this gasket with a razor blade and try and get it as close to that dimension as possible. No one's going to see what's underneath here. Okay, so if it doesn't turn out aesthetically great on the backside, don't worry about it too much, but I would suggest trying to leave as much material with the gasket as possible. Okay, I've got it trimmed down. You can see I removed quite a bit of material, so kind of compare what you see here with your stock gasket. Here's the Halo fuel cap base. You can see I've reinstalled the seal that is supplied by Driven here. That's important that that remains there. Now we can drop this on. Okay. You look at the other side, you can see this now sits nice and flush with the fuel cap base, and we're ready to go over to the bike and bolt it down. Okay, just drop it all in place. Gets pretty simple from here. Rotate it, make sure we've got the holes lined up. We are going to use just a little bit of blue thread locker on each one of the fasteners. This is a little different for the install. Normally, like I said, you just drop the cap base in there, you're good to go, you're done, man. Bolt it down, super simple. You know, but with the R6, Driven was looking for that next level result by leaving the stock surround gasket in place. And let's see what that turns out like. Run each one of these down by hand, okay? Just to where they start to seat before you put any torque to it. Don't tighten one fastener all the way and then move on to the next. You want to run them down all evenly. There are torque specs supplied with the instructions that I didn't read. If you want to use a torque wrench on that, you can do so. We're just going to use a T-handle. You see now I'm just seating each one. And now I'll go through, just give them their final torque. And once that thread locker dries, that will ensure that they won't come loose. Wipe it off. Make sure the gasket is in place on the fuel cap. Push down and lock. And you can see that looks really close to the OE, the way it fits in there with the gasket. Then of course, now you're keyless, you got that pop of color, all the etching on it. That Driven Halo cap is gorgeous, great mod. Do this to all my bikes.